Hi everyone, my name's Frank, and I'm the user advocate for Artsman, and welcome to our series on email in Theater Manager. In this video, we'll be talking about transactional email as a concept. A special thanks to Randall Nunley from Warner Theater in Connecticut, a longtime friend of Theater Manager, for his contribution on community.artsman.com with this particular topic. All right, let's get started. It's been reported over the past few years that the average business person receives 121 emails each day. The internet and email are now considered basic infrastructure for any business, right alongside electricity, heat, and water. As Randall points out, every day we all get tons of email. Most want to sell us things, marketing. Some confirm that we actually did something, transactional, and most rare of all, personal or one-on-one correspondence. In fact, Gmail, the world's most popular email service, has taken a similar approach, dividing our inbox into three main categories: primary, social, and promotions, just to give us a fighting chance to tame our inbox. Before moving forward, let's define the term transactional email. It's a type of automated email triggered by events or interactions from a user. Common examples include creating online accounts, resetting passwords, changing contact information, or confirming a purchase. In other words, you do something online, which triggers the system to generate an email confirming that what you just did indeed worked. In the arts and entertainment sector, these transactional emails are typically sent via a box office at, info at, or tickets at email address. Okay. So transactional email is generated by users interacting with a service. But how does that apply in the case of Theater Manager? Good question. I think Randall's explanation says it best. One perk of being a non-for-profit organization is the option of free email services from Microsoft's Office 365 or Google's Gmail. Free is a relative term here, as there are always limitations. For example, Office 365 and Gmail are great for sending personal email. However, these services get really unhappy when organizations try to send transactional and marketing emails to thousands of people every month. And to be fair, this is not the type of service they're actually offering. As Randall says, when it comes to Theater Manager, it doesn't have anything to do with the product. The platform is simply sending the number of emails we've asked it to create. Email service providers inherently distrust transactional emails, because automated systems are where spam comes from. In response, Office 365, Gmail, or any other big service provider will start to throttle the connection. In turn, Theater Manager responds by holding onto those emails and trying to send them again later. This process repeats, throttle followed by trying again later, until eventually the brakes get put on entirely and all outgoing email gets stopped. So what happens at that point? Well, we typically see the sending address being blacklisted. In other words, the box office at, info at, or tickets at address stops working. Or the entire account gets suspended, which not only means the box office info or tickets address stops working, but also every email address listed in the account. Or outgoing emails stop sending due to rate limits. In fact, Artsman has seen multiple cases over the past few years where organizations unknowingly attempt to send these kinds of large volume transactional emails through these services, and suddenly outgoing email experiences significant issues. Resolving them typically requires either working directly with the email service provider or a knowledgeable IT person. By offloading transactional email volume from that of our daily personal one-on-one business correspondence, we can significantly reduce the risk of email issues. But this really begs the question, why now? I've never needed one of these services before. I've been sending email for years. Great question. We hear you. To help figure out how we got here, we have to go back in time to when email mostly came from people. Historically, email was intended to be from one person to another person. Computers were used to deliver the message, like a postman would deliver a letter, but on each end was a person writing a unique message to another person. Unfortunately, as time went on, The companies that brought you junk mail to your home mailbox also started delivering spam to your email inbox. As computers got faster, sending spam got cheaper, and it quickly became a huge problem for large email service providers. Spam was so cheap that only a fraction of 1% of users had to click on a link or buy a product to justify it. Email was designed with the idea that you could trust the sender. But with spam, all that changed. New measures had to be put in place to combat this new problem. Large email providers started creating barriers to sending email as a way to make it more expensive and hopefully reduce the appeal of unsolicited messages. They required authenticated user accounts, rate limits, and intentionally slowed down mail reception. The two largest mail providers, Gmail and Outlook, or Hotmail at the time, were especially aggressive in blocking transactional emails. They were sending a message loud and clear to the industry: don't send transactional email through us, personal only. But today, when one door closes, another opens, and a bunch of new transactional email service providers have come along. They were built in such a way that they could validate that the sender was sending higher quality emails, while also implementing respectful unsubscribe features. There are a few types of these services, and each type has a specialized provider. For example, Mailgun, Mandrill, and Amazon Web Services offer ways for organizations to create pro forma transactional email. As with any service, there are pros and cons to different ones and varying pricing structures to consider. But as platforms become more and more interactive, so has the need for email infrastructure to keep pace. All that said, if your organization is interested in deploying a transactional email provider, please email us, support@artsman.com, to find out more. And that's it. We hope you enjoyed this video. From all of us here at Artsman, thanks for watching.